Next question is about parks and libraries. Over the years, our parks and library services have had their budgets reduced, resulting in the consolidation of these public programs into a single department, less recreation programming for Daly City residents, and increasingly limited library hours. Question: what do you think is the effect of these budget cuts? What do you believe can be done to prevent further cuts to these city services and get us on the path to restoring these public programs? We'll start with Juslyn Manalo.
The effect of budget cuts to the library and recreation are directly affecting the residents and the employees of the city. I believe that we need to take a proactive approach in finding new streams of revenue for the city and creating a long-term plan. We have to move beyond the reasoning that Daly City is just Daly City. We are in a central and essential location adjacent to San Francisco and the so-called gateway to the peninsula. It is important to look at opportunities such as transit-oriented development that could bring mixed-income housing, affordable units, and opportunities for small businesses to emerge that respond to the diversity of the community. Also, creating a new hotel within a conference center would be an ideal, because this would also bring in new revenue such as hotel tax for the city. These opportunities will create revenue, housing, and jobs, and ultimately provide more resources for the community.
I just wanted to remind the candidates that you have 1 minute to answer these questions, so please be aware. We'll move on to Glenn Sylvester. Same question.
Thank you very much. At the council meeting in deciding to cut the budget, many folks appeared and says, life or libraries? Life or libraries? It should not be between life or libraries. There are other city services here in Daly City. Libraries are very important to us because we have youths, we have kids, and we spent a lot of money on these libraries. You should not cut these library services. What happened to volunteerism? Why cannot we get volunteers? Why can't we get our seniors involved? They have a lot to offer to the community. I think that's one way we can save money, and they will be willing to give back to the community. So libraries remain a very important facet for me here in Daly City. That should never, ever be cut. Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to Mr. Braxton Lethco.
I just want to say the library cuts is a devastating issue. It's just something really, really easy. Like, you cut a few hours from the libraries, it seems like you save a couple, 100,000, you save this money, but the long-term investment of the libraries is crucial. If we think about, like me as a math teacher, I assign my students to do all of their homework online, okay? The internet is the tool where my students are able to teach themselves the math, they teach themselves how to code, they teach themselves how to fix their screens on their phones and then do it for their friends. I mean, there's so many doors that are open to our youth through the library, okay, through the community. It's a passport to so many opportunities. And so I am totally against cutting the library and the programs. I feel like reinvesting in the library is how we can reinvest in our own rising generation and interrupt the poverty that could potentially face them, like we've seen in Oakland through things like
Sorry, that's time. We'll move on to Ms. Gabriella Makstman.
So just yesterday, I was at an event and I saw my old librarian from when I was in elementary school, and I got really emotional. She was there for me at a time when I came to San Francisco and I knew nobody, and I was there every day after school, and she was like a third parent to me. And the libraries, because of her, because of Ruth, hold a very special place in my heart. We built a beautiful library in Bayshore that now, after spending over $1 million, is open only 2 days a week. That's sad. And I believe that the reason we're in this situation is because we are not seeing the type of development here in Daly City that exists in other places on the peninsula. And that has to do with the fact who's been in charge for the last 20 years. And it's time for change. It's time for youthful energy, for innovation, and for those people who understand where the value is. And the value is in programming
that's
in the
time.
libraries.